Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining with a class of Big Data and Data Analytics in week 2 in September 2020. Well, this week we will discuss about machine learning concept and practice. And the outline is first we'll discuss about how to finding pattern and insight from big data and big data and data analytics for business usage, algorithm roles and complexity, structures versus unstructured data, and then machine learning, and we will discuss about supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning as the three types of machine learning, and artificial intelligence, learning methodology, and data analytic creates DM and common roles. Okay, let's start with pictures. Yeah, I will show you the pictures about how finding a pattern from these pictures. See, these pictures is about, wait, I choose this. Okay, first. This pictures is about what Jewelry's mood report from last FM. See here a music from October until December. Yeah, as you can see in this picture. Yeah. Okay. And Jewelry is a woman, and she put out her phone and opened up the application that she used to track the menstrual cycle. Every woman have a menstrual cycle, and from these pictures, apparently those jumps in listening to shadow music happened to be whenever she was on her period. And the peak days were actually usually start of her period. See, where's is peak the peak, what we call, this is, yeah, here, this is the peak pattern. Yeah, the peak days were actually usually the start of her period, meaning that the days leading up to the first day of her cycle. And then she start listening to the lower energy music. That means a change in her musical taste could possibly be used as predictor for when her period will start. So let's see these pictures. Yeah, first in October, she start to listening happy, and then the the type of music or the types of music that she hears is a sad and low energy. Yeah, and then this is the same with this. Yeah, so this is actually the pattern we see when we are predict what's jewelry period every month. Yeah, so we see this is the date, and we know when is the date, the peak date. Yeah, we can see this is the pattern of jewelry moods report about her period. From the picture, we can see the data and we can predict the behavior. Second is about Uber destination. This is the rider destination, and we can see what is the opportunity from this picture. As I mentioned before, in week 1, when we see these pictures, we see how the activity here is higher than here. So we can conclude from these pictures that here the circle 1 have the highest activity than others. Yeah. So it's give to us the idea that in this area, when the activity is high, then the opportunity is big. This is the insight from big data. And This is the pictures about social network analysis taken from brain A and brain B. And the insight from big data are we can't see the number of community. Yeah. So in the brain A and in the brain B, we can see the communities and how many number of the clicks there, how how and what is the most influential actors or area in these pictures. Yeah. Can we see this is the what? This is the actors, and this is the actors. Yeah. That's one of insight from big data from social network analytics. We can see first, we can see the number of community, we can see the number of clicks, we can check the network density and the most influence actors in one area, like this, yeah, for example. And I repeat what I share about the framework of big data in the first week. Yeah. First, we see, I remind you again, we see big data as a source. Yeah. We see big data as a source. And what is the source? The source is about human, social, machine, and transaction. The source is review, opinion, conversation, network of friendship, social media, transaction data, historical data, CCTV, vlog, location, and tagging sensor. This is all kind of source. And this is we call big data. When we talk about big data, also remember the characteristic, yeah, large, fast, complex, and variation. This is the opportunity. The big data is a source, and this is act or having a role as an opportunity for data analytics, while data engineering and data management is supporting the data analytics. And data science is the activity. It's give a method. Yeah, we should remind that data science is the science to extract knowledge from data, taking or uncover the pattern from data. And this is the activity. So in the end, you will see by data analytic, yeah, when the process to uncover hidden pattern, give insight, or this is the value. This is the value of a big data processing. Give insight by using describing the phenomenon, predicting the value, estimating the future's outcome, optimizing the resource and the decision, and simulating all the possible scenario. This is the role of big data analytics. And we mentioned this as a value. Yeah, the value is benefit and implementation, or benefit and application. In what terms we say it, giving a benefit or applicated or implement to something. Yeah, we can use the insight for transportation in create self-driving car real-time tracking. Let's say we use it into a communication by creating information dissemination, early detecting event, identification hoax, fake news, hate speech, and we use it for business. We do the market segmentation here. We create the personalized advertising. We create customer acquisition and retention. We create how purchase behavior, and we analyze a brand awareness in customer mind. And another example is we implement insight by using any describe, predict, or estimate something in precision healthcare. We can create cancer detection, precision disease treatment and prevention, yeah, and we implement it to in education and entertainment by what? By create a recommender system, create a personalized content. and implement it in banking by create analytic of fraud detection, risk analytic, credit score, recommended investment, smart accounting, and auditing. And also, we can implement the insight into a society for human social quantification, doing a people analytic using usually it is implemented in a human resource field, yeah. And this is the big pictures of how big data and data analytic role. You came from the source. We call the source is a big data, and we see the opportunity. Big data role is the opportunity. And data engineering and data management is supporting the data analytics process. And the activity is gain the knowledge or extract the knowledge by using a lot of methodology here, yeah, to support the data analytics activity. And the output is the value. The way or the tools will use in or we will use by describing, predicting, estimating, optimizing, and simulating. And this is the benefit or application. We call it the value of big data. Remember, when in the first week I say, people also, or people usually say that data is a new oil, data is a new gold. But if we cannot process it into something, into gold or into oil, that is nonsense. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. And in the next slide, I will focus in these things. Yeah. The insight, it says the insight is describing the phenomenon, is using, predicting, estimating something, optimizing, and simulating. And the example is like this. We use big data for business. Yeah. We use decision tree. Yeah. And in this picture shows that decision tree is built a classification. Maybe you not understand what is classification is. Decision tree builds classification or regression model in the form of tree structure. Yeah. You can see this picture is like tree. Yeah. So we call it decision tree. It is break down a data set into smaller and smaller subset, while at the same time, an associated decision tree is incrementally developed. The final result is a tree with decision nodes and leaf nodes. As you can see in these pictures, we uh, we find a data about income, gender, and age. Yeah, how decision tree can use to predict something. Yeah, we see in these pictures the problem is find customer likely to buy a new car and their profiles. We have two problem here. Yeah, we should find customer who likely to buy a new car. And the second problem is we should profiling them. Okay, we have three data. First, income, two, gender, and then three, age. After we process the data, we can conclude the formula. Here, the formula. Yeah, we can conclude the formula. Now let's see the formula. If income is greater than 50,000 and gender are female and status is single, then He or she, no, she will buy a car. Okay. Now we have the formula. If income are greater than 50,000 and the gender is female, okay, and status is single, then she will be buy one car. So this is the example of we predict something. A lot of term and condition. That's a decision tree. Always include term and condition. That's the example of the big data for business. We can predict something using this formula, using this algorithm, yeah, using this model, and we find the answer. Find a customer likely to buy a new car. Yes, if the income are greater than 50,000 and the gender is female and single, then your customer will be buying a one car. Yeah, that's the answer. And what is the profiles? Yeah, let's say the income is greater than 50,000, the gender are female, and the status is single. And then she will be buying a car. That's the example of how big data for business implemented. Sorry. And the next picture says about about how a basket analysis used for tracing the association rules. Yeah, let's say given a set of transactions, find rules that will predict the occurrence of an item based on the occurrence of other items in the transaction. Let's see. This is a market basket transaction in a market, or example here in Alphamart, or what in, yeah, is I just remember Alphamart now in my head. So this is the example market basket transaction. We have the data. First consumer buying bread and milks. Second consumer buying bread, diapers, beers, and egg. Third consumer buying milk, diaper, beer, and coke. Fourth consumer buying bread, milk, diaper, and beer. Fifth customer buying bread, milk, diaper, and coke. Yeah. In a market basket analysis, or we call it as an association analysis or frequent item mining, you will analyze purchase that commonly happen together, like this. People or consumer who buying diaper is also buying beer. People who buying milk and bread is also buying eggs and coke. And people who are buying beer and bread is also buying milk. So implication means co-occurrence, not causality here. Underline is you will analyze purchase that commonly happen together. So market basket transaction can give the way to us to predict our customer will buy something. Yeah, this is useful for marketing, for what strategy by we arrange the product in a market. Yeah, that's a lot of insight from association rules or market basket analysis in the futures. Of course, if you know how to implement it in your business. Yeah, and let's say, remember when I told about that in the end we have a rule, yeah, or we have a step, or we have what we can we call it as a formula. Yeah. Now we should uh, we should learn about the definition of algorithm. What is algorithm? Yeah, an algorithm is well defined, a procedure, underline it, procedure that allows a computer to solve a problem. Yeah. Underline this. Algorithm is well-defined procedure. A self-contained step-by-step set of operations to be performed. Underline this. Contain a step-by-step or set of operations to be performed. A set of rules that precisely define a sequence of operation. Underline this, a sequence of operation. And algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instruction, not ambiguous, yeah. The use of term unambiguous indicate that there is no room for subjective interpretation. So it shows objective. And every time you ask your computer to carry out the same algorithm, it will do the same manner with the exact same result. So to understand what is algorithm more deeply, I suggest you to click the link to learn about what is algorithm. But you should know the underline. Algorithm is a procedure. Yeah, it's contained step by step in operation. It is a sequence of operation. So in your head now, if you want to define what is algorithm, you should learn that algorithm is a step. Yeah. And it's remain same if you uh, want to repeat that step. It's remain same. Yeah. Okay. I repeat again. If you want to define what is algorithm, you should remember the keyword first. Algorithm is procedures. Algorithm contains step-by-step set of operation. Algorithm is a sequence of operation, and every time you ask your computer to carry out the same algorithms, it will do it in the same manner with the exact same result. So algorithm for me is a formula. Algorithm is a formula that having a procedure. Okay. This is an example of algorithm. A very simple example of algorithm would be to find the largest number in an unsorted list of the number. Let's see, we call it L, large. Yeah. First one, remember, algorithm is contain a step. Yeah, step one, let variable largest equal L1. Step two, for each item in the list L. Yeah. Step 3, if the item is greater than L1, the L1 equal the item. Step 5, return L1. This is the example of algorithm. It's contain a step. Okay. And then in the second step, step 1, start. Step 2, create a variable to receive the user email address in the different problem. Step 3, clear the variable in case it's not empty. Step 4, ask the email address. Step 5, store the response in the variable. So this is just look like how a roadmap or how the step you will create. That is actually you define the algorithm. Okay, we move to the next slide. After we understand what is big data implementation and the example of model that implement in the big data for business, and you have understand what is the meaning of algorithm, we are now should learn types of data. Yeah. Why? Because when you will processing the data, you should or you must understand the characteristic of data. You should know how to differ the data. So we learn about the types of data. Okay. There are 4 types of data. First is structured, second is unstructured, third is semi-structures, and then the last is metadata. You should understand structures, unstructured data, semi-structured data, and metadata. By seeing this picture, I think it's very easy to understand the types of data. Yeah, okay. Let's see. This is the structured data. See the pictures. There are pictures of table. Yeah, I read for you. Structured data. Data that address to a predefined data model and is therefore straightforward to analyze. Structured data conforms a tabular format with relationship between the different row and columns. See, the pictures is a table. Yeah. Okay. Common example of structured data are Excel files or SQL databases. Each of these have structures, row, and column that can be sorted. Oh, so if you remember or open the data in terms of Excel document, so it must be a structured data, yeah, because check with relation between the different rows and columns, yeah. And then we move to the understanding of unstructured data. Okay. Unstructured data is information that either doesn't have a predefined data model or it is not organized in a predefined manner. It is typically text heavy, but may contain data such as dates, number, and fact as well. Sometimes it's difficult to understand using traditional program as compared to data stored in structured database. And common example of unstructured data include audio. Yeah, this is audio, video files, NoSQL database, yeah, and image files. This is the example of unstructured data. Yeah, and then we came to semi-structured. Semi-structured data is a form of structured data that doesn't conform with the formal structures of data models associated with relation database or other form of data tables, but nonetheless contain tags or other markers to separate semantic elements and enforce hierarchies of record and fields within the data. Therefore, it is also known as self-describing structures. Example of semi-structured data include JSON and XML are form of semi-structured data. So if you find the XML data, yeah, you can browsing. How is XML data? How is JSON data? Yeah, this is the example of semi-structured data and sensor data. Yeah. So I believe that you can define the different, yeah, from this 4 types of data. Yeah, after structured, unstructured data, semi-structured data, we should know there is a metadata. Metadata is data about data. It provides additional information about specific set of data. Now remember, when you click, right-click your mouse when you opening a document in your laptop, you will find right-click your mouse, you will find property, and then the metadata is show up. Yeah, the metadata is about data about data. Okay, now see the picture, structured data and unstructured. See, this is the bright example, yeah, column. Yeah, this is the structured data. Yeah, this is a tabular data. We have a column and value. We have a name, patient, Andre, date of birth, and date of admitted. And then this is the unstructured data. The unstructured data is relative difficult to organize, yeah, because it's text, yeah. See, this the text. The uh, the what we can see is not a table, yeah. This is the text, yeah. High degree of organization and is a relational database, yeah. It is relational database. That's a different structured data and unstructured data. Yeah, also remember about this. So after you understand the types of data, you, in the next step, I hope you can defer it, and then after you can defer it, you can process it uh, with right tools. Sometime in the processing of data, we change an unstructured data to structured. We change the semi-structured data to structured data. And we find or we profiling the data using metadata. So in the end, to make us easy, usually we change the unstructured data into structured data. It's more easily to process. Okay. This is the difference between structured and unstructured data. You can read after, yeah. See NoSQL and SQL. The model is non-relation. In SQL is relation. The data over flexibility in SQL is great for solution where every record has the same property. And schema also, NoSQL have a dynamic or flexible schema, while SQL strict schema. Yeah. NoSQL transaction, ACID transaction support various per solution, but in SQL we support ACID transaction. And the consistency in the SQL, consistency varies per solution. Some solutions have tunable consistency, while in SQL, strong consistency supported. And the scale well horizontally, and SQL scales well vertically. This is the difference. And you can show the video by click and watch the video to make understanding more bright or more deeply, yeah, deeply understanding. Okay. And I will told about machine learning and predictive analytics. Remember when I told about you there are 4 type of analytic, and we are discuss about what is the difference between the analytic, yeah. And what is the difference between analysis and analytics? Analysis is focused on understanding the past, what happened. We analyze this, but analytics focus on why it happened and what will happen next. Okay, so this is, we are using analysis here, and from here to here we call it as analytic, yeah, when the focus is to what will happen next. Yeah, if we mention what will happen next, then we are start to think about predictive analytics, because we are building model. We are start to building model. That's why I say when we talk about a predictive analytic, we are using machine learning. Start using machine learning from this, because we predict something. Yeah, a prediction usually using pattern to extract from a historical data. It say predictive is the assignment of a value to any unknown variable. Yeah, and then from this, now we know machine learning is. Yeah, a model is trained to make prediction based on a set historical example. And here we have a word of trained, a word of prediction, and a set of historical example. And I will told you more about machine learning. I will told you more about machine learning in these pictures. Okay. Machine learning is a concept which allows the machine to learn from example and experience. So understand this. The machine will learn from examples and experience without being explicitly programmed. So instead of you writing the code, what you do is you feed the data to generic algorithm. Okay. Remember, will build a generic algorithm here. Then the algorithm machine build the logic based on the given data. So you have a training set and you have test set. Yeah. And the learning algorithm will learn the model from this by the induction process. Okay. Learn the model and then the model are built. And when apply the model using the test set by deduction process. And what is artificial intelligence is a branch of artificial intelligence concerned with the design and development of algorithms that allow computers to evolve behavior based on empirical data. So artificial intelligence is more advanced than machine learning. Uh, one step after machine learning. Yeah. Now, so you have to understand in machine learning, we have training set, we have a test set, we have a learning algorithm, and then we build a model. Yeah. And then after that, in the machine learning, we should know there are three types of machine learning. First is supervised learning. Second is unsupervised learning. And third is reinforcement learning. Okay. Okay. Uh, Now I confuse. Okay, I will move to another slide. Yeah. Okay. Now, from understand the machine learning, we compare it with the traditional program. Yeah. When we give the input and program and do the computation process, and the output is result. This is the traditional programming. But in machine learning, when we give input and desire results and do the process with the computation, the output is programmed. Yeah. Okay. This is the difference of supervised and unsupervised learning. Okay. Now focus to supervised learning. Yeah. In supervised learning, the data set is properly labeled. See, the data set is properly labeled. Okay. You have to remember that in supervised learning, we label the data, meaning a set of data is provided to train the algorithm with input provided as a labeled data set. A model can learn from it. Okay. First, we are giving the label to data. Yeah. We input the raw data, but we label the data set. See, the data set is Apple. Okay. With the hope, a model can learn from the data. Okay. Uh, and see the process in supervised machine learning. This, after we have labeled the data, in the process of algorithm here, the training data set, remember we have a test data and training data set. The process in algorithm is supervised by label the data. And then after that, we process the data. Okay, because we have the model and a model is learned from a data that have a label. When we give the input this, yeah, uh, in this case is apple, we input the apple, and then we input the apple to model trained, and then the algorithm will process it. The output is says the program is says yes, the raw data that we input is apple. Yeah, because model has learned from the label dataset. When we put a dataset apple, the model will learn that the shape of the input data is look like apple, like the data that already insert to a label dataset. Okay, that is supervised learning. Please underline that in supervised learning, we are labeled the data first, yeah. Now, we understand what is the unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning is opposite with supervised learning. Unsupervised learning uh, in unsupervised learning, there is no complete and clean label data set, yeah, and the data set we input without pre-existing labels. So there is no label in unsupervised learning like this. If we compare with this, yeah, this is the label. The label is apple. But in unsupervised learning, we input the raw data with no label. Yeah, so the machine didn't know the label. Unknown unknown output, no training data set. Yeah. In unsupervised, no training data set. So the model training and the algorithm will do the interpretation by itself, yeah, with algorithm. And then the output is they will make a clustering, yeah. So we see this classification in supervised learning and regression, yeah. But in unsupervised learning, the output is usually we call it a clustering, yeah. In the end, unsupervised learning usually make this clustering. Machine labeled the the raw data, yeah. But in supervised learning, the label we do in the first time. The unsupervised learning, the label will do by the process, yeah. Okay, so let's move to another slide. This is the example of what we call it classification, yeah. See, this is already label, yeah. This is, I mean, you see where is the part of we label something, yeah. This is the label, yeah, class label or target. This is the attribute or features. This is the type of data nominal, and this is the type of numeric. And sometimes we find it integer or else, yeah. Okay. And what is reinforced? What is reinforcement learning? Remember, there's three types of machine learning. First is unsupervised and supervised learning, and then third is reinforcement learning. Okay, reinforcement learning is an area of machine learning concerned with how software agents ought to take action in an environment so as to maximize some notion of cumulative reward. In a simple way, a reinforcement learning is algorithm learn to react to an environment on their own. Reinforcement learning is a type of learning that is based on interaction with the environment. So we know this, yeah, always and always there. We say an environment. The underlined, if we want to understand reinforcement learning, is just says a type of learning that is based on interaction with the environment. Yeah. Or see, there's an action, interpreter, reward, and state. This is what we call the interaction to the environment. Yeah. Okay. This is the big pictures of machine learning. We have unsupervised learning, we have supervised learning, and we have reinforced learning. Yeah. This is the example of unsupervised learning. Clustering, like I said before, yeah, and dimensional reduction. And in supervised learning, when we label something, we can use classification and regression, while in reinforcement learning, this is the example when we are make a real-time decision, game artificial intelligence, skill acquisition, and learning task, robot navigation. See, the example is always talking about how we are, or how the interaction with the environment. But in supervised learning, we talk about prediction. In unsupervised learning too, we talk about prediction. Yeah. C, recommender system, target marketing, customer segmentation. C, diagnostic, advertising, popularity prediction, weather forecasting. Yeah, forecasting and prediction is similar. Forecasting, estimating, and prediction. But in classifications, it seems we use a predict to identify fraud detection and customization. Yeah, that's a big pictures of three types of machine learning. And today you have learned about three types of machine learning: unsupervised learning, supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Okay, and after that, you should understand the artificial intelligence. Yeah, this is the artificial intelligence learning and methodology. And can't you see, this is the machine learning path, and this is the artificial intelligence. Below the artificial intelligence, we have the deduction, reasoning, problem solving, knowledge representation, planning, perception, computer vision, and robotic motion, natural language processing, and social intelligence. And below of machine learning, we have a supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So this is the methodology. And when you use the method of decision tree learning, you are in the supervised learning area. Using association rule learning, you are in the supervised learning area. So you know the concept, yeah? You use the inductive logic programming or support vector machine, you are in the supervised learning area. It means you have the level data to process this all about. And when you do the clustering, similarity and metric learning, or sparse dictionary learning, genetic algorithm, you are working in unsupervised learning area. And when you are doing a Bayesian network, neural network, deep learning, and manifold learning, you are in the reinforcement learning. So you have to understand this is, you will discuss or talk or work with how the reaction to environment. Okay. So you have the big pictures of how machine learning and artificial intelligence are connected each other. Artificial intelligence is more advanced than machine learning. And the last is we talk about data analytics. Yeah, data analytics common role. This is a pictures of CRISPDM or cross industry standard process for data mining. First step is we understand the picture first, yeah. Uh, we start with this business understanding. Okay, in a business understanding, you need to understand the project objective and requirement. Yeah, and in business understanding too, after you understand what is the problem of your business or and understand what is the objective of your business and what is the requirement, you will define or you will state the data mining problem definition. You will define how you will extract the knowledge from the data. Yeah. Okay. You move to, after you understand what is the business problem, you will move to data understanding. Yeah. In the data understanding, there's an initial data collection and familiarization, and you identify data quality issue, initial, obvious result. Yeah. In data understanding, first you have to remember how to differ the data. Yeah, see the types of data. Okay, identify it, process it very well. Yeah, take the quality. Yeah, and then after you understand the data, you will do the next step, the data preparation, record and attribute selection, and do the data cleansing. Yeah, this is part is usually we convert or we change an unstructured data into structured data. So we can we can take the clear data, yeah, or clean data, and then after data already clean, already ready to be processed, you will build the modeling. Yeah, run the data mining tools. After you choose what kind of data mining that you will do in define of data mining problem in the first step, you will find to the fourth step in modeling when you run the data mining tools that you have chosen in the previous steps. Yeah, and after you run the data mining tools, you should evaluate the process. Okay, you should evaluate the process by determine if a result meet business objective and identify business issues that should have been addressed earlier. Okay, and after that, do the deployment by put the resulting models into practice. Okay, and set up for continuous mining of the data. Yeah, this is the process of data analytic in cross-industry standard process for data mining. Okay, and the data analytics common roles, other data analytics common roles is usually first you do the estimation and then prediction and classification, clustering and association. These five I already described it for you. Yeah, like we do the estimate, we do the estimation, or we do the prediction, classification, clustering, and others. I will say we should know we should know what is the definition of model. What is a model? What is output? What is pattern? What is insight? What is knowledge? Sorry. if we find a term or if we find a word that called formula or function, yeah, if we find a word of decision tree, or if we find a term of correlation and association of, or if we find rule and cluster, that's all is term of model, output, pattern, insight, and knowledge. So let's see. uh, First is estimation. What is estimation? Estimation, yeah, we have the formula here and we have the data. We can estimate something. Learning model using estimation method. Usually we use a linear regression to making an estimation, and we gain the knowledge after we have a formula from the data. Estimation is a method to form an approximate judgment or opinion regarding the worth, amount, size, weight, and etc. Yeah. Estimate is Estimation is to estimate the cost of something. It's usually mathematical algorithm or parametric equation used to estimate. It's usually to estimate, example, to estimate the cost of product or project. And estimation provide as output various resource requirement in the cost and time. Usually we talk about cost and time. See, travel time, yeah, or sometimes we find with other cases who meaning cost and time. Okay. Second is a prediction. Yeah. What is a prediction model? What is a prediction formula? Yeah. In a prediction, we usually use a neural network learning by we predict the price by using time series format. Yeah, we predict the plot. Yeah, we predict the behavior. Predictive modeling professional creates using relevant data and statistical method. Yeah, see, this is the data, and usually we use a statistical method. In a predictive model can be used to answer a specific question and predict unknown values. Yeah, we predict the unknown values here. The process of using known result to create, process, and validate a model that can be used to forecast futures outcome. Yeah, the function of prediction is to predict or forecast futures outcome. Yeah, that's why we call prediction, it is a predictive analytic. Yeah, to answer what might possibly happen in the future. See, the prediction plot here is to predict what happened with the plot in the future by using this data. Okay, that is a prediction model. Okay, and after that, we see the classification model. Okay, a classification model tries to draw some conclusion from the input value given for training. Remember, data set and data train. It will predict the class level category for the new data. So after we have a data set and we put it into the data train, yeah, it will predict for the new data. Yeah. Okay. Remember the slide before this about classification and we build model. Yeah. See, classification, usually the decision tree, we make a formula and we predict something. Yeah. This is, in these pictures, we have a label, so we can predict from this label. That is classification. Remember, classification is supervised machine learning. And clustering. Okay, clustering is a model. yeah, that used to identify group of similar objects in a multivariate data set collected from fields. The task of grouping a set of objects in a such a way that objects in the same group, this is called cluster. Yeah, we see this is cluster. Yeah, cluster red, cluster yellow, and cluster blue. Yeah, we have data set without label. Remember, clustering is unsupervised learning, machine learning. Yeah. This is for give the output like this is we are using k-means clustering method. Yeah, we have data set without label. I don't know what it is. A machine don't know what it is, but the output in the clustering machine can came out with the cluster. This is cluster. This is cluster of data red. This is cluster of data green. Yeah. And what we say in the end, we input the data without label, but in the end we find a label or a cluster. Yeah, we find a cluster. Okay. The next is association. The association rule model always represent rules where some set of items is associated to another set of items. So we call it association. Yeah, there's association. One is associated to another set. It's appropriate for the analysis of ordinal contingency tables. And association models are presented for two-ways and multi-ways contingency tables. Yeah, this is, you can see, we have data and we have terms, yeah, association rules. Yeah, what one associate to another. Yeah, and in association, the metric or the measurement usually talk about support, confidence, and lifts. Yeah. Now, if you are talking about what one object associate with other objects, so you will build the model of association. Yeah, this is the model of association. Okay, that is about machine learning concept and practice. So today you already understand. First is how the insight are applied in any industry, how the insight of big data or value of big data are implemented in business, and you know the tools of prediction or analytic of prediction is using or building model by using machine learning. And machine learning contains three types: unsupervised, supervised, and reinforcement. And you know the data types. So in the futures, you will understand more how to process and how to deal with the data. So I will explain the assignment for week 2. Please access the Learning Management System Seloe, my class in the Telkom University, and you check the assignment info in Big Data and Data Analytic class. So you continue the first article in the week first, yeah. You continue, download the template for assignment in week 2, and after state the objective, problem, solution idea. Please now continue with state of methodology, model, and measurement. And make sure that you upload the PDF file to the assignment of week 2. And if there are any question, you can send it to the forum, or you can send it to our group, or you can chat, private chat to me and discuss about the material uh, week 2 about machine learning concept and practice. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.